Yo, what is good, YouTube? And welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, I thought we'd talk about the best cards to buy post semi-market crash that we got from these downtown super packs here in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM, just because I do believe there are a lot of more attainable dark matters and opals now because of this these super packs, especially with how great the odds were. 28% opal and 3.2% dark matter just out of the singles. Obviously the bundle guaranteed an opal and basically a quarter of the packs containing a dark matter. So definitely drops the market significantly, which I think has given us a good opportunity here to do one of those videos basically where I give y'all guys who are most affected by this market crash, and I talk about guys that I personally would be considering buying at each spot, each position right now here in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM. So with that being said, we will start off with the point guard position. Realistically, my favorite point guards in the game, dark matter and below, are cards that were already relatively affordable. For example, Manu Ginobili, who was already like 90,000 MT, maybe even a little cheaper than that, all the way down to less than 70,000 MT, or right at 70,000 MT though. Feels like a really nice value for a guy who I think can really score and compete at 6'6", versatile defender, super solid slasher, and a high level shot maker. A guy who can compete at a pretty high level in all honesty. Definitely one of those guys that I really like a lot. A point guard that I really like though, who I think was decently affected by this drop, maybe a little bit more even than Manu was, who was affected a bit, but a guy like Denny Avdia, for example, who was going for like easily over 100K and should be, I would think, there is no way this card's not a buyout. Unbelievable. I cannot believe this card has held value that well. I mean, he was already over 100K, but I just thought he was going to have dropped in price for sure as an opal. With the amount of opals being pulled, that's nuts. And then Bogut, I did see was a buyout earlier. He's easily a buyout. Bogut is probably a better buy than Denny, actually. I'm shocked how little Denny's price seems to have been affected, but like, this is a 23 Hoff Bogut for 65K. If this has D badges, yep, I'm buying that. I'm not going to lie. It's got on-ball menace. That is a snipe. That card could probably sell for close to 100K in a few days. I'm taking it. That's a value right there, and I might use him for a little bit as well because that gives me some size and defense in the event that I play somebody super obnoxious. That's a little snipe right there. That's actually part of the video right there. Beautiful. We'll take that. Outside of that, Stephon Castle's always a good point guard. Then obviously you got some good budget options as well. But that's kind of my thoughts right now at the point guard position. I mean, Bogut seems like a really nice buy for his price tag right now with how switchable he is defensively. I will say that. Moving on to the shooting guard position, your best auctionable shooting guards haven't really changed a ton. A guy like, I will say, you can get Paul George for free. I know he's not invincible the way the other invincibles are, but he's still really good. So that card's like one that's hard to, I don't know, but he's hard to quantify, but you can get him for free. You can get an OG Anunoby for free. You could get Page for free last season. So there's a good chance you don't really need to buy a shooting guard. And if that's you, that's fine. But Kawhi Leonard, definitely a guy I would consider. His price has noticeably dropped as well because of a combination of the amount of good free cards that have been dropping at his position, but also, again, a slight increase in his supply. He is a lot cheaper than he was a couple weeks ago. I mean, 30 minutes left, only 284K with 13 legend badges. Would not have been the case a couple weeks ago. Definitely a guy who's more attainable now than he was. And if you want to pick him up, now is not a bad time to consider doing that. Amen Thompson has become pretty darn affordable at this point in the game, as well as a dark matter. Like, he's just not that insanely expensive. 153K with extra Hoffs and a couple of legends about to end here. You can get him easily under 150,000 MT, especially a non-super badge version. But a badge version really is only going to owe you run you a little over 200K. So he's a great card, but I will say the best shooting guard to buy right now is actually a brand new card, but I feel like I have to include them, and that is Mr. Rick Barry. This in card, if he has defense, in my opinion, is legitimately like arguably the best dark matter shooting guard in the game. This card is really, really high level. He does a lot of things at an extremely high level at the shooting guard position in terms of shot creation, defense, release, fade. Again, needs a couple badges defensively to be that high level defender, but as a whole, I mean, outside even the defense, without badges, he's an insane card. His movement is so elite, and he's got such a great jumper too to boot, and the underhanded free throw certainly doesn't hurt things either. So with that being said, Rick Barry is kind of the headlining guy that I personally would be looking to pick up at the shooting guard position. Now, the small forward position, this has not changed a lot. Just because, again, I think the guys that people want are the same guys people have wanted. You know what I mean? Michael Beasley, for example, as a dark matter is a really good card, although I think I just screwed up and messed up the way that got inputted. There you go. It should work now. He is still expensive, but a little bit less so for lower tier Beasleys. And I mean, at the end of the day, I think this card in terms of elite level dark matters is near the top, especially if he is badged properly. He really is an awesome scorer with a really good release, a lot of versatility skill wise. And off the dribble ability, elite slasher with the right badges added, very high level defender as well. I mean, I get he's a little more expensive than the other dark matter shooting small forwards, but I still think he's worth it. Because yeah, you can pick up a guy like Andre Kirilenko or Luol Deng or somebody like that who's going to be half the price. I don't think they're going to quite impact the game as much as the impact you're going to get from a Michael Beasley or somebody like that, at least offensively. But defensively, I mean, a guy like AK, 9 minutes left, 156K, that's a good price for 13 legend badges. You know what? Would I really pay over double for Michael Beasley when I can get a badged version of AK? If you can get a badged AK or a badged Luol for an affordable price, like Luol's even cheaper than AK. That's the thing. He's like damn near going to be a buyout at this point with the way super packs are. He really is close to a buyout. These are guys that are just great values right now. They're so good. They can compete at the highest level against top tier options. Elite jumpers, slashers are capable. They can put them on the floor a little bit. These are really good cards. And I think both of them can be very, very great options at your small forward position as well, for sure. Now, the power forward position, I think one of the things you do have to keep in mind with the position is the fact that a lot of the free cards are again at power forward. Tim Duncan, Willis Reed, guys like that people are going to run. And if you're running those cards, that's totally fine. You don't have to pay to upgrade. I will say a guy who I think is good is this Jack Sikma. He's affordable. I don't know if he's a great candidate for the way this video is because he was already pretty cheap before the super packs. So I don't think the super packs, he's still like 95K. I don't think that really did much to his price, but that's because he's a new card, so he wasn't going to get affected by it as much. Anyway, that's another reason why, by the way, I didn't mention guys like McGetty, Wagner, Mike, and Brandon at shooting guard. All of them are good, by the way. And I mean, Franz at small forward as well is a pretty good option if you need a small forward. These are all good cards to mention as well. I just didn't really mention them as much because, again, the Skyline cards are newer, so they're not quite having the same price bump from these super packs. Other power forwards, though, realistically, again, I don't like adore the options for the most part, because realistically, like a guy like Dikembe, we'll come back to him. Yes, he's amazing at power forward, but I want to save him for a little bit. And otherwise, you're looking at your Alex Sars, who's like 146K. I mean, that's cheap, less than 150K for 6 legends. That's a good price. But he's the same card as Chet. Both of them are like unspectacular, just solid, good options. The same can be said for a David Robinson, again, who's an unspectacular, decently affordable, but very, very like fine option. And then again, you transfer to the center position-ish. A guy like Kareem, a little expensive still, to be completely honest. Like for me, I'd kind of want to hold off on Kareem when he's this expensive. Now, 40 legends for 600K, that's not that bad. But that's also got 17 minutes left, so there's a good chance that goes up. But I mean, I don't know, he's 400K base. Like, this is a card who absolutely could continue to go up. I feel like it's especially true, like Mark Eaton, for example, he dropped today in price. I saw him going for 400K base yesterday, more than that actually. He was going for more than that. And like, this card's not quite that expensive now, you know what I mean? He's dropped 100K or so. Like, that's going to be a nice little option there. And I saw him ending honestly for like lower than that not that long ago for Eaton. I think you could, if you find the right time slot, get him for cheaper than like definitely less than 300K, I do believe. Dikembe Mutombo, 508K with 2 minutes left, 5 legend badges. It's not ridiculous, and he's still expensive, but he is a bit less expensive, I would say, than he was yesterday, for example. Like Box Obvious Rebound Chaser, by the way, are 2 of the better legend badges, as well as Rise Up is nice too. Like that card being 550K in all likelihood if he gets one more bid, like really isn't a bad price tag. You know what I mean? I think that's something about the center position, as well as like the cards are, they might be pretty expensive still, the Kareems and Dikembes and Eatons and still Wimbies of the world as well. Good Lord, this Wimby, what in the, oh my gosh. Okay, so don't buy Wimby, because apparently he's not that, well, maybe this one just got bidded really high. This one has a higher bid than I sold my Wimby for by 2,000. That's a little disappointing, to be totally honest. But you know what? I mean, the base ones do look like they're down in price a bit. Maybe a lower or closer to base Wimby is going to be pretty low in price. I don't know. Something you'd have to try, but if you can get him for less than 500K, that's a good price tag too. Realistically, at center position, Eaton looks like the guy I think I would potentially target realistically in terms of value. Dikembe and Wimby are probably the best ones, though, and Kareem's down a little bit in price as well, so those are guys who are options as well. But again, I think it's more the guards, really not as much the center position, that I would really be targeting to take advantage of these super packs, because there's a lot more options there. And so they all kind of go down in price with how many different options there are and how influx the market is. With less elite options at the big man spots, you get less variance in the market. With that being said, that is going to do it for today's video. I hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back on more 2K content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.